through years of action at this point, I actually think Geoff at this point is almost exempt from this. And the reason I say that is because despite the size of the platform, people have already seen him toe the company line so many times. They actually expect him to just go with whatever. Yes, Mr. Nat Turner, whatever you say. Yes,
Well,
so and so, whatever you say. It's the opposite. They actually expect him to toe the line. So in reality, they don't expect him to advocate for the consumer at all.
A few moments later.
How the hobby loves a great conspiracy theory. But I'm here to tell you, this wasn't actually a conspiracy at all. I'll give you the full explanation from PSA of what happened next. And despite what social media may have you believe, PSA is not an evil company and they don't have big conflicts of interest. Rather, I think PSA may actually be the smartest company in the entire hobby. Hear me out. I'll explain why next. This is a big deal, like a really, 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 really big deal. And this is why right here, look at this. You're gonna walk in the door to CardsHQ, and right over here is the PSA Submission Center now inside CardsHQ, and this is such a big deal because if you are anywhere in the Southeast US or if you're just passing through Atlanta and you have cards that you want to get graded by PSA, you can just now bring them right inside CardsHQ and you can hand them right to the PSA employees. You don't have to ship your cards, you don't have to insure your cards, you just hand them over. It's the easiest way to submit. It is inside CardsHQ and it opens this Saturday.
It doesn't even need an intro. That could have been the entire video in and of itself, and I seriously considered just letting those clips play and making that the entire video. I thought about it. That was a real option that was on the table. But regardless, it doesn't require a regular intro. I do appreciate, though, when the content gods, as always, praise the content gods, do provide something that fits so easily and so perfectly. The timing could not have been more exquisite. It's fantastic. So those clips that I played for you off the top, the very first one was from the podcast episode this week, where I was talking with Eric and Brendan, and we were specifically talking about who, in terms of large platforms and everything, who should be responsible, at what level they should be responsible. We had kind of a discussion about the general thought process behind that and kind of our opinions on that. But then this was recorded on Monday, which dropped on a Tuesday. The second clip is the Geoff Wilson defense of PSA, the latest defense. They kind of played into that first clip beautifully. And then the third clip is actually coming from the Instagram page of Geoff Wilson, where he's touting that they're going to be having a submission center inside of the CardsHQ card shop. So the latter two of those actually come from Wednesday, today that I'm recording this. So like I said, I could have just gone with those clips in and of themselves with no additional context and it would have been perfect. Or I could have gone to the Geoff Wilson Show episode and done a reaction to it, but the reality is all he did was all but read the press release from that perspective of it. That's why the clip was perfect, because I said, whatever you say, Nat. Nat Turner basically gave the same explanation on X, Twitter, / whatever it's going to be called this week. He gave the same explanation in terms of that. Now here's the thing, this video is not actually about me working out the logistics of it. I already kind of gave my thoughts on that on Friday, and if I'm going to extend it a little bit further, I'll even take it a step further. I really don't care. If you prefer that it is a grand conspiracy from PSA, that works for me. That's completely fine. Then I'm good with that. If it's just regular, good old-fashioned incompetence, I'm good with that too. Or any variation in between, I'm happy with any of these scenarios you want to play because it really makes no difference to me whatsoever. It doesn't change what I do in any way, shape, or form, which is great. It is good content, though. It is great fodder, and it is kind of fun to watch the videos on it. However, I don't want to leave you deprived, so what I am going to do is in the description, I'm actually going to leave a link to John's Sports Cards YouTube channel, because I've been watching some of his recent videos, and his video from today was actually him railing against Geoff Wilson. The last couple of videos have been about that, but realistically, he can bring the righteous indignation and anger that I know a lot of you want to have, so since I can't manufacture it for you, it would be performative. Well, actually, let me correct myself. I could manufacture that for you. It would be 100% performative because, as I said a moment ago, I actually don't care that much one way or the other. However, John seemed a lot more upset about it, so I figured I would direct your attention in the direction of somebody who could give you the catharsis that you're looking for. Personally, I'm a little bit more interested in the kind of hilarious absurdity of it and kind of the brazenness of basically falling over yourself to do the defense, and then immediately after announcing that you're doing a PSA submission center out of your card shop. I just found that part in and of itself very amusing to me. The fact that you would waste basically half an hour giving the entire defense, followed by then promoting the new submission center inside of your card shop on the same day. I just genuinely enjoy the audacity of it. It's actually kind of fantastic. It's the stuff that memes and jokes are made of. It's truly glorious. Now that all said, it plays perfectly into my thesis that I said, that just because somebody has a large platform doesn't automatically mean they're going to be advocating for the consumer. And as I said, at the same time, it's kind of hard to really get mad at Geoff Wilson. Well, again, John kind of tries, and he manages to be successful for the most part. So he seems a lot more upset about it than I am. Because again, I'm looking at the source, and I'm taking into account the track record of the source, and given the track record of said source, I'm not surprised or disappointed. I'm just amused. And that's basically my takeaway from it. So that's why I say I'm not going to spend much more time on it. I'll link it in the description for you if you'd like to check it out, but really all it is just basically reading out the explanation from PSA that's given previously. So if you've seen videos about this already, then you'll already know what that is. And if you're not accepting it, then you're not going to accept it now. And if you are accepting of it, then it's just redundant for you to hear it again. But in the spirit of completeness, I'll include it. I'll also include a link to John's video, or if you want to get some righteous indignation, he'll provide it for you. And I'm happy to kind of direct a little bit of attention that way as well. From my perspective, I'm just going to kind of cackle to myself, and it's going to be kind of business as usual from the hobbying perspective, because really it doesn't matter to me one way or the other. And from your perspective, if it causes you to change any of your habits, well, then that's perfect. Then that's basically what should happen. You get the information, and then you adapt to it accordingly. Now, regardless, I'm sure we'll have a chance to talk about it a little bit more on Friday, but I figured I would not miss the opportunity to have that series of clips at the beginning play out in and of themselves, because it was just too good to ignore. But with that said, there will be more videos coming up on the channel. The Friday live stream will be there at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the longest running episodic, whatever it is. We can talk about this, no problem. If it's part of the chat, you are so inclined and you want to go in that direction, we can spend some more time on it. Or we can talk about anything else. Obviously, I think there was another related thing with the PSA thing where a bunch of grades were changed as well, and you can get righteously indignant about that too. And then Eric will join you, even though he never submits anything for grading. So I'm not sure why he's so concerned about it. And honestly, I'm a lot more concerned about his Pink Floyd takes. A guy who unironically likes Kiss telling us that Pink Floyd is not good. I don't understand. Under other circumstances, I would have just assumed he had one of these. Speaking of. Cheers. But if he did, he might burst into flames. Because a couple of Guinnesses is a lot for him. So if he had one of these, he might just burst into flames and die. So normally there would be some kind of a thesis here. Something a little bit more philosophical, something a little more profound. But I gotta be honest, this is just kind of for me. I just really appreciated that Geoff made me correct so quickly. He didn't even wait. It wasn't even 48 hours. He didn't even make it. It was like Wednesday morning when the damn thing came out. And like, it wasn't even 48 hours later. And the episode didn't drop until Tuesday morning. So honestly, it was barely a day. And then immediately he just goes on and does Geoff Wilson things where he has to run to the defense of whatever company he happens to be working with at the time, which is fine at the end of the day. But I will say though, in all seriousness, just to kind of close it off on a serious note, I do think it's important not to ignore these things because that would be silly. But the reality is, if you just get irrationally upset about these things, I do kind of worry about you. And the reason I say that is because, again, he is doing what he does. I can't specifically blame him because this is what he does every single time. So if he's just doing what he does, I can't be upset, really, or I can't be shocked or dismayed about it. It's just kind of Geoff Wilson being Geoff Wilson. And if it wasn't PSA, it would be somebody else. It's whoever's kind of working with the company at the time, and then he'll be right there. He'll be there at beck and call for the defense. So I think the overall takeaway should always be to just kind of bear in mind the underlying factors. And a lot of times they're not even well hidden. So it's not like he went out of his way to hide it. That's why I played you that last clip where like it's specifically promoting a submission center inside of the store. Like it's about as direct as it gets. It's not well hidden. It's not a secret. So that's why I kind of say like I'm not sure what there would be to get upset about. I did enjoy that there's always going to be a certain element of it that, given the polarizing nature of the individual involved, is always going to be directed towards it. That's why it's kind of fun. But regardless, it allows, the content cycle kind of continues to spin around. Because at least, while we have this going on, it gets us off of Snipe and Probstein at least for a minute. And Patrick Ryan's been hiding in the shadows for the last little while, so smart on him to take a bit of a hiatus right now. If he was going to try to sneak back in, now would probably be a good time. There's a lot of distractions going on. Regardless, like I said, more videos coming up on the channel. Friday live stream, we'll talk about anything else that we want to do, including that, by the way. It's completely fair game, so if we want to talk about that some more, we certainly can. But regardless, at least it gave me an excuse for a nice little midweek video to put on the channel. And as always, praise the content gods. Like if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Agree or disagree in the comment section. Whatever works for you is completely fine with me. Again, I'm not taking a specific moral stance on this one. I just found it very funny. The timing of it was just beautiful for me. So anyway, thanks very much. We'll catch you in the next one.